Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of the Periodic Review. My name is Jacob.
And I'm Rianne.
And we're here to talk about life, the universe, and everything as we periodically review things.
Jeez.
That's so dumb. Should I be like, and then next week we're going to talk about all these wonderful things?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. So we got some good stuff for you today. We obviously want to start a little bit about music and film and TV, because that's some of the stuff we consume on a daily basis. Have you been using your Spotify lately?
Yeah, but I don't listen to the popular songs.
You don't listen to the popular songs?
Well, I usually pick the playlists that like 90s or 2000s or even 80s, because
Rock
I'm
anthems
old.
of the 2010s.
Yeah, I'm like really old, and that's the sort of stuff I like. And then even in the 2010s, I skip through like 80% of it because I'm an old fuddy-duddy and like the music I grew up with.
Have you made yourself a playlist yet?
Oh, yes, I have.
Excellent.
It's got some JT, some Mark Broussard, Teddy Swims, Jason Mraz. Ooh, what
a lot of good stuff.
Ray LaMontagne.
Some Philip Phillips.
I don't think I have Philip Phillips on that one.
You gotta get some Philip Phillips on there.
I have that on a different playlist. I call this my getting through the day. I have a few new ones. I got some Ed Sheeran. You know I love me some Ed Sheeran. Yep. Little Galway Girl and
Perfect. And
Barcelona. Oh, so
Barcelona.
Good. It's got some Script.
Got some really good hits.
Train. I got a couple Colby Kellys, but I liked her, but she got played a lot, so I'm like kind of done with her songs because they
kind of overplayed.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So I'm really I love Sara Bareilles. Got some of her really good ones on there.
Now she did songs like Brave. Isn't that Sara Bareilles?
No, I think that's Natasha maybe she did. It's either her or Natasha Bedingfield. But
no, it's not Natasha Bedingfield.
I like her song Love Song. That got played a lot too, but I still like it.
Gotcha.
And then I have some new people that are on there from the 2010s that I never heard before, but I really love. Just a few songs they just felt right at the time.
So you're still expanding your
yeah,
playlist.
I'm still adding to it.
Excellent.
But I got some Josh Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
He actually just came out with like a covers album.
Nice.
Like where he sings a bunch of covers. I'm digging it.
Yeah?
I'm digging it, yeah. He's like, I Died in Your Arms Tonight.
Yeah.
Did you mess with my mic? I've heard a difference. Anyway, his cover of Died in Your Arms Tonight was pretty cool. I liked it.
Is that better?
I don't know. I can't hear. Well, sure.
Yeah? We just need to turn up the headphones a little bit?
Maybe. And
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah. I've got John Mayer, Maroon 5, the Lumineers. I even have one song of Billie Eilish. One song only. Sorry. Don't get it. I don't get it. I do not have any Justin Bieber songs on there. I refuse to have any Justin Bieber songs on there. Or even Taylor Swift songs. Even though I find some of them very poppy and kitschy and, upbeat. I don't want it on my playlist. I don't. There's so much other better stuff.
See, like on my playlist, I just put everything on there that I like. If I liked it at any point in time, or if I still like it, it's on my playlist.
Oh, Mumford and Sons. That's another one on there. Love Mumford and Sons. I even have one from The Weeknd.
Ah, yes. I also got. I think they're on the top 10 of. A top 10 on one of the Spotify's playlists. I believe it's Save Your Tears.
Okay.
I think that's on the top. It's been on the top 10 anyways for
You know
a
what
while.
I do love though is when you on Spotify when you pull up your playlist and stuff based off of what you have.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just won't add songs. It'll say here's some recommended.
Mm-hmm.
So it still gives you some good options.
Yeah.
To look at. And like, there's some on here that I've never listened to before, but I'm actually curious to listen to.
Yeah, I've been kind of doing the same thing. I've been trying the different playlists that they have, both old like music, like classic rock, like just basically even doing like some of the pop stuff. I've been just trying to expand, what I already have. I definitely have found that my additions to my playlist has definitely declined quite a bit because I'm starting to run out of things that I remembered listening to that I liked or even still liked, and so I'm still working on finding the ones that I'm not remembering, like. But so did you have an opportunity to listen to the top 10 on the top 10
No.
list? Okay.
And I think the reason why is because some of them are like hip hoppy. I think I tried to start listening to them.
Yeah, like there's like basically rap, hip hop, R&B, like pop stuff is kind of taking over the top 10, it seems.
And like I am the furthest thing from like relating to.
And that's okay.
To hip hop, because like that's not my experience, right?
Right.
I mean, what cracks me up is these funny little skinny white boys.
How dare you bring race into this?
Who like love the hip hop, and I'm just like.
Well, I think it's more rap than it is hip hop.
Oh, rap. Okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me. In my mind,
I guess today's rap.
They have become the same thing.
Right.
So yeah, I don't relate to that. Like, I mean, I'm not to diminish their stories or their feelings of where it came from and stuff, but it's not something that I can relate to, and I don't care for how they depict women and a lot in the songs. I mean, and there are some really good artists out there who are very, like...
Have like positive messages.
Well, yeah, and I listen to the songs. I'm like, okay, yeah,
you
that's
can,
nice,
relate
but
to a little bit more.
But more often than not, it's all about like, my life is so hard because of drugs and like baby mama, and then tapping some bee's butt, and then like
okay.
I just and that, and probably my mom never let me listen to that stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, the only rap song that we were ever allowed to have in my house or even play in my house was the Mormon rap. Do you remember that?
Yeah, not really.
Mormon rap, do the Mormon rap. It was so bad.
No.
It was.
I don't know that.
I would love for somebody to find that and link it to this. Because
I'll have to listen to that. That sounds funny.
It came out when like MC Hammer, like I remember I wanted to get MC Hammer's first.
So this is like, MC Hammer, Vanilla Ice is really big.
Oh yeah, that's when these guys, like MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice came out. I was like, oh, check me out. And then I wasn't allowed to have it, and my mom took away my MC Hammer CD or tape. It was a tape. I didn't have a CD.
Tape?
It was a cassette tape. Because CDs weren't even out at that point. But she took my MC Hammer cassette tape and gave me the Mormon rap.
That's funny. But I would still encourage you to like actually take some time and find some stuff that you like within that genre of music, because what's really interesting is that if you listen to it long enough and search long enough, you'll find stuff that you relate to and find stuff that's...
Yeah. Well, and I think my problem is that, like, I don't set enough time aside to listen to music. So when I do, I'd rather it just be the stuff that I like.
You like. And you just listen to that over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm in a very unique position with employment right now where I have a lot of time to listen to a lot of stuff. So I do a lot of podcasts and do a lot of music. What are the doggos doing?
I don't know. He was sniffing.
Being silly. Well, I took some time and I listened to the top 10, and it was interesting. Like, what's interesting about today's music that's really popular is that they're very formulaic, meaning that they have formulas already kind of figured out with them, so they can make sure that they do very well, like at the get-go. So whether it's a chord progression whether it's using real instruments or synthesized instruments, auto-tune, whatever's popular at the time, that's what they're going to continue until it's not popular anymore, and then they move on. I think that's really interesting about pop music.
I did find an artist who sings rap or who does rap, but I can't say who.
You can't say who?
I'm not gonna say who.
Why?
Because I don't want you to get canceled.
You don't want me to get canceled. Okay, well.
But
putting this stuff out there, you know, we have to think that that might be a possibility. So we're just going to go for it and hope that people understand that we're just sharing our thoughts and our feelings, and you know, it's okay to have thoughts and feelings and opinions.
Yeah.
You know, amidst the facts.
We'll have our thoughts and opinions until the KGB comes. It takes all our equipment. That's
Don't you mean the CIA and the FBI?
I'm being conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, the KGB is just going to come and raid our house and take my guitars and my computers. Okay. You're silly. But...
Well. The censorship thing is getting a little out of control. The cancel culture is out of control.
Well, it's definitely a real thing. There's things going on that honestly shouldn't be going on.
I agree. So...
But
I'm just saying, if we don't fight for
part of it's just us voicing our opinions and just sharing. Like, that's really all we can do. I mean, we're not really in a stately position where we can, you know, forge real change within our communities. You know, we're just what people could consider the average Joes. You know, we go to work 5-6 days a week. And, you know, anywhere from 8 to 10 hours a day, and we just go to work and we grind. We make the money we need to make, you know, so that we can have a nice home. We can have good working, mechanically sound vehicles, food on our tables, food on our tables, you know, we just kind of do our own thing.
Pat your belly?
I did pat my belly. That was weird. I probably should not have done that. That's weird. But anyways, so, I mean, I even, sat down here, sweetheart, and look, I have notes for every single song of my thoughts.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well then it's going to be your voice because I don't have anything to contribute.
As much as I want to go through each and every song and be like, okay, this is where I think about this about the song. This is what I think about that. I think I'll just summarize and generalize it. Is that there's not really any bad music out there, meaning that they're it's absolutely terrible and garbage. Pretty much everything that's coming out right now is recorded really well. Especially everything that's been done in a real, real studio or real home studio or whatever, using the proper tools, proper microphones, things like that, and making it sound really good. All the songs I listened to, there wasn't a bad song where I was just oh my gosh, this is terrible on the ears. As far as the fidelity of the actual music, it was done very well. It was produced very well. There are some songs in there that I really did enjoy more than others, especially the ones that had real instruments. That was always a plus. If they had pretty good, beats, however, a lot of the songs have very similar beats, except especially the 16th high notes, the those it has to be the right song for me. And most of the ones I didn't really enjoy. There was one that it seemed like everything had auto-tune on it. The vocals had auto-tune, the bass, all of the beats had auto-tune, even the hi-hat sounds had auto-tune. And so it was so it was kind of being on the EQs from highs to mids to lows. It was really odd, kind of out of place. But for the most part, they were all decent.
That was a very technical review.
Yeah.
You even have the beat and everything. I'm I didn't like it.
Yeah, those 16th high notes, hi-hat notes, always throw me off.
Okay. So
but
for all the musicians in the audience, hopefully you knew what he was talking about. For all you regular people out there, why don't we ask, what was your favorite out of the top 10?
Out of the top 10?
What was your top one? out of the top 10 list on Spotify?
I think Without You by the Kid Leori, I hope I said that right, I think was the one I liked the best.
Wait, which one?
Without You, the artist is Kid Leori, Laroi, I believe.
Hey.
If I typed that incorrectly.
How do you find the top 10 on Spotify anyway?
You can search in the search function and just search top 10 playlist, and it can pull it up. Don't play any, though. We don't want to have to worry about audio
trying to look. Okay.
copyright issues.
Okay, what's the name of the song?
The name of the song is Without You, and the artist is Kid Leori, Laroi. I really liked the guitar stuff. The falsetto was really good. Like, and you know me, like falsettos have to be like really good, otherwise it sounds really awkward in recordings. So I thought that was pretty fun. I was expecting more drum beats to come in. Like it felt like it was building up to the point where it was going to kind of crescendo, and then the beats was just going to like drop in. But it just like never did. I just thought that was kind of weird. But I really loved the melody of the harmonies, and the great breakdown when it came to the bridge was really good.
Okay.
I think that one was probably like my favorite out of all of them.
So what was the worst one?
The worst one? Probably I'll tell you my second favorite. Second favorite is Save Your Tears by The Weeknd. That one was pretty good. I really liked the airiness of the mix. Really pleasant on the ears. The breakdown's really good, and yeah, I mean it's kind of like a today's tribute to the 80s synth pop, basically. I really like that. I didn't really like Goosebumps remix. It's a Travis Scott song that was remixed by HVME. It was kind of weird because there was like a lot of yeah, and yeah, and I'm just like, what is going on right now?
Yes,
so I didn't really.
I don't know what you're doing. It's creeping me out.
And I know our kiddo likes listening to it, and so every once in a while I'll be like, and just like doing stuff that I hear.
Oh yeah,
when he's listening to his music.
So our kiddo likes rap and hip hop and everything. He loves it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I played this artist that I found that I was like, yeah, I can get down with this, and he's like, nah. I'm like, seriously? You can't bond with me over this one?
Right?
Nah. It's okay.
Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo. It kind of felt like a Billie Eilish-esque song. There was a lot of the whispering, like in the singing, which, I mean, it can sound really good. It just kind of sounded weird to me, but even then, I'm not a huge Billie Eilish fan just because I just don't really get it. Maybe that's because I'm old. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's not terrible.
So, guess what artist I ended up liking, but totally not on purpose?
I don't know who.
Shawn Mendes.
Shawn Mendes? I don't know. Have I heard some stuff from him?
Yeah. He's played on the radio all the time.
Well, we don't listen.
Treat You Better and...
I'll treat you better. Yeah.
And Mercy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to search him up on the. What is it again? SEAN? Is that how you spell Sean Paul?
No, Mendes.
Or Mendes, excuse me. Shawn Mendes. Why is there like a bajillion Shawn Mendes?
It's SHAWN.
Oh, that's why. SHAWN. Mendes. Cool. Yeah, I remember Treat You Better. That was a great single. Wow. 1.2 million plays.
And Stitches, even, like, I ended up liking him.
Yeah.
And I didn't really mean to. Because to me, he's
Y2K was surprising for me like him too.
For who?
Y2K. You know, the...
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, like I surprisingly was just like, I like this. This
What's
is good.
the name of that song?
It's a Canadian group, or at least the lead guy's Canadian. It's just La La La.
That's the name of the song?
That's the name of the song, yeah.
La La. Okay, wait. Y2K La La La. Oh, there's an actual playlist called Y2K La 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 La.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We love the Canadians. We Americans. We love the Canadians and their music.
I love Canadians.
Celine Dion, national treasure.
Can we say Ryan Reynolds?
Ryan Reynolds.
Hello.
He's a very handsome man.
Blake Lively, you have no idea how lucky you are.
Music. There's probably a lot of them that we don't realize. From Canada.
I love the Lumineers. Are they from the U.S. or are they Canadian?
I don't know. That's a good question. Wow, musician. I can't Google apparently. From Canada,
dance with me.
not Canada.
Woman is your destiny. Shut up and.
Oh, Drake. Neil Young.
I like Neil
Justin
Young.
Bieber, surprisingly. I thought he...
Wait, what?
The Weeknd. Canadian group.
The Weeknd?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I think this is wrong. I'm just kidding. It just says music artists. There's a list of Canadian... Oh, maybe it is.
Oh, Hozier. Really like Hozier.
Hozier?
Hozier.
Like hose your daddy?
Shush. No, we're not starting the
No,
dad jokes.
there's a lot of... I mean, if this is right... Wait, Michael Bublé.
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 Oh.
Bublé.
I do like me some Michael Bublé. Like, I always liked him because, you know, he's a crooner.
Sarah McLachlan?
And he's sexy.
Is this correct?
Yes.
It just says... I just Googled musicians from Canada and it says music artists.
Yes. Celine Dion, Sarah McLachlan. Okay, but let me tell you.
Nelly Furtado, Sarah McLachlan.
That's what I just said.
Carly Rae Jepsen.
Listen to me.
I am listening to you. Hi, how are you?
No, so Michael Bublé. Okay, this
Bublé.
guy is awesome. Like, he's a crooner, totally. You know, I fell in love with his silky voice and clear lyrics that I could sing along to. But then...
His Christmas album is pretty decent, too.
Love his Christmas. Like, Michael Bublé is to me as Johnny Mathis was to my mom. And that means it wasn't Christmas until Mama put Johnny Mathis Christmas on.
Oh, yeah?
For me, Christmas is when I get to put Michael Bublé on with his Christmas. And
That's
then
beautiful.
And then Mark Broussard. Love Mark Broussard's Christmas album.
Oh, yeah, he did a Christmas
Love it.
album. I didn't realize.
Yeah, but so like I loved Michael Bublé, but then I saw this YouTube video where this lady is like screaming at him from the audience, and she's like, "Oi, it's me son's birthday!" You know, she's speaking with her because they're in the UK. I have no idea where I have. Yeah,
Sounded
anyway.
very Scottish.
No.
You sounded very Scottish.
Did I?
Yeah.
I didn't mean to. I don't think that was Scottish. Anyway, so, and he's like, okay. And she's like, he can sing. And he's like, what? She's like, you should let him sing for his birthday. And he's like, okay. So he brings the kid up on stage. The kid's turning like 16 or 17. I don't know.
He's a young kid. I think I remember seeing this YouTube video.
Yeah. So he pulls him up on the stage and he's like, okay, let's do this. And he starts singing and then he hands the microphone over to the kid and the kid is just like, birds flying high. And he sings it and all of a sudden you see Michael Bublé jump out like, holy shit! And he just like starts
He's got
flipping
some chops,
out.
yeah?
And he's like, this kid can sing! It was so funny. He was like so excited for this kid and it just,
oh my
and
goodness.
you could see this kid just start beaming in the confidence. It was just awesome. So then Michael Bublé became my favorite crooner.
Yeah.
Totally. I don't even care if he's not old school.
What's a crooner?
Like Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin.
Okay, again, you just listed some artists. So what is a crooner? I don't understand
they sing
that
the
term.
Like
You heard it here, folks. They do the That's apparently a crooner. Should I be Googling this so I understand what language you're speaking in?
Come on.
What language are you speaking?
I am not that
crooner?
old.
Crooner is an American slang term used to describe primary male singers who performed using smooth style.
See the boo 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 boo. No.
Dreaming
Yes,
of a
Dean Martin.
white
Yes, see, that's a
Christmas.
crooner. That's like a classic crooner.
They have that vibrato and the very breathy. Oh, boo boo.
Yes, and it was like iconic because cartoons I remember would like make these birds look and like the character of a crooner. It was just funny. But why I started laughing when I did that because it reminded me of the scene in my best friend's wedding.
Oh, okay.
Where she says that she was engaged to her new best friend who's actually gay, and so then he starts telling the story of how they met, and it's getting ridiculously more elaborate. And then he's like saying that he's visiting her in a mental hospital where another patient thinks they're Dionne Warwick. And so he's like telling the story, and then he pauses and everybody's all, well, what did she say? And then he's like, the moment I wake up, and he starts singing it. It erupts. It's like one of my favorite scenes ever. Like in all the movies. It's one of my favorite. Like I crack up hysterically every time I watch it.
I feel like you were born like too late in life.
I'm just an old soul.
You're an old soul.
And every year I get physically older, my soul gets like 10 years older. So like...
So your tastes continue to age?
They do.
But...
I learned to appreciate the finer things in life.
We should start like watching some like really old like black and white like obscure stuff that people don't watch anymore.
Uh-huh. I don't know if I
think it'd be really fun to do that.
Maybe.
Like maybe watching some of the old...
It's a Wonderful Life.
Like, yeah, like It's a Wonderful Life. Like the old Twilight series.
No, see, you took it to a weird place when you said Twilight. Man, like...
Well, it's just black and white. It's just... we could watch old Westerns. There's a lot of old Westerns.
I remember watching those with my grandpa.
Like, did you ever watch any of the ones with...
John Wayne?
John Wayne, you know... Big Jake.
No, I don't really know.
No, that's not him. Big Bad and the Ugly is Clint
The Good,
Eastwood.
the Bad, and the Ugly. That's Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
He's the Western I remember.
He's the Western you remember?
Yeah, and then we get into Tombstone. And Young Guns and...
the newer films? Yes.
Tombstone's
those
were in my generation, so those are what I think of as Westerns. So...
Well, I think the reason I think of like black and white Westerns, I think because when I was younger, like a lot of like my friends, like especially when I went over to some of my good friends' homes, like their parents would for some reason like watch like the old Nick and Knight, like black and white stuff.
Oh, I loved watching like Mr. Ed.
Yeah, like Mr. Ed.
And
watching stuff from John Wayne, Clint Eastwood. And so when I think of that, for some reason, when I think Westerns...
The Dick Van Dyke Show was good.
Dick Van Dyke Show was good. You're right. But that's what I think of when I think of, like, old, like...
Leave It to Beaver.
Oh, my goodness. That would be fun to,
Patty Duke Show.
Like, watch those. That might be fun. I Love Lucy.
I Love Lucy. I actually watched an episode the other day on Facebook. It popped up. And it was the episode where she found out she was pregnant. Anyway, it was a big, long story, but... Yeah, but she sounded like... Her and Ethel sounded like this the whole time. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't remember them sounding like this. Hey,
it's
Lucy.
Definitely a strange...
Ethel? It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah, like women did not sound like that. Well, I guess maybe some women during that time, maybe it was more common, but...
I'm not doing that, by the way.
Not
it's
that I'm
just
thinking
deciding to come up.
Yeah, that poor lazy boy needs to give up the ghost and head to the dump.
As soon as we get our new couch, man.
Oh, I'm so excited. New couch coming in soon. All right, so you've been really enjoying Spotify. You haven't had any issues with it, like functionality-wise?
Oh, totally. Lately, it has been like, if I turn on a podcast or if I pause it, it takes forever to like reconnect.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times I have to like exit out of the app,
close it, reopen it, and then restart it.
And I'm like, why won't you just play if I push play?
So
But I notice it happens especially on the podcasts.
Yeah, I've been noticing that too, and also it playing in the background with other apps functioning in front of it. It seems to like have issues to continue playing through, like if like navigation comes up. Like I've noticed this is just because like I do the DoorDash and the Uber Eats. It really struggles, with the navigation on Uber Eats. Almost always, I have to close both of the apps and reopen them in order to get it to continue playing. And for some reason, with podcasts, it does not play through once the navigation starts. Once the navigation starts, it just stops it. It doesn't like pause it or like mute or like turn it down, say what it needs to say, and turn it back up.
Yeah.
And then even sometimes when I'm playing music continuously, sometimes on the Uber Eats app, like navigation will come on and be like, in 400 feet, turn right. And then it'll just be quiet. Like it'll stay quiet until it goes, in 1 mile, turn left on Sunrise Lane. And then it goes back up again for the volume. I'm just like, what is going on right now? And it seems to have happened in the last month. So I don't really know what's going on with that, but it's really bugging, especially when we got the premium going on it. And now I feel like the functionality has greatly diminished since we started paying for it.
It really has, actually.
I don't know what's going on. It could be because we have like an issue with the Bluetooth software inside our Subaru vehicles, maybe. But I notice it still does it even if you're on Bluetooth or if you're direct in when you plug it in to charge it. So I'm having the issue like both ways.
Well,
and that's
you
what
should
she
just
said.
blame Spotify.
So,
because I'm not taking my car in to get that shiz fixed.
Excuse me.
Spotify just needs to update their app.
Yeah, well, and so I don't know what needs to happen. Like, if they just need to like make sure that they check on like more used apps, and so they can update it to make sure that the functionality works properly in the background, or if it's like an Apple thing. Or like an Android thing?
Well, because I don't have the issue. Well, in my car I have the issue, but I also have the issue when it's not in the car.
You have it with your Bluetooth headset?
Oh yeah, same. Oh, Bluetooth headset, yeah.
Really? Interesting. I guess I haven't used my Bluetooth headset enough to really know if it's having issues with the Bluetooth on that as well. I just know because I'm using it so often within the car that's where I'm having the issues. Like, often. And so if I'm driving and I'm fighting with like the 2 or 3 different apps to make sure that I got music playing in the background and like my navigation is going and not like stopping it, it's really frustrating.
That's why you just get Sirius XM.
Oh, is that what you need to do?
No.
Sweetheart, you need to talk on the microphone. What are you doing?
I am talking into the microphone.
You're like the microphone was like on this. Anyways, make sure to talk on the microphone, please.
Is this better?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Maybe you're slouching down a little bit because the chair's broken.
Yeah. I'll adjust.
Yeah, maybe adjust a little bit and see if. Okay, do I need to turn you down so that you can? Technical difficulties.
Is that better? I'm just gonna do that.
Here, you can just do this.
No, don't. It's there. It was fine.
It was fine? Okay, I apologize.
Okay.
Please forgive me.
Can you still hear me?
Yep, I can still hear you. Okay, so moving on. So we're having issues with the Spotify app. Have you noticed some things that they could do differently to make it even better? Besides the functionality issues that we're having with other applications and it not playing in the background.
No, I don't think I've had a chance to really explore Spotify to its full potential yet, so I don't feel like I could give a legitimate, review.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I was going to give it out of 5 stars, I would definitely give it a 3.54. Maybe a 4, just because it has, pretty much every single music you could think of.
This
except
is out
for
of 5,
some of the...
right?
Huh?
Out of 5?
Yeah, if I was going to give them, an app, rating right now.
Oh.
With a gun to my head.
I do want to say that I was a Pandora fan, and I was always on Pandora.
Yeah, I was too.
Because I'm an old lady. So I was always on my mom loves Pandora, so,
Yeah.
And
well, I loved it too.
It's
before we found Spotify, and I was like,
but then we found Spotify, and I was
better.
like, whoa. Now,
we were brought into the 21st century.
Let me have a sip.
Okay, you can have a sip of my Pepsi.
Say,
go ahead.
that I do enjoy, because Pandora, actually, I like how it kind of randomizes things and everything.
Yeah.
Because that's how I found, like, quite a few artists that I'm, like, absolutely in love with to this day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's how I found Marc Broussard. That's how I found Ray LaMontagne. That's how I found, like, a bunch of kind of maybe not so well-known artists at the time. Like, Marc Broussard has, like, he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, I would say so. I wish he would come out more to the West Coast, but I know his fan base is, like, pretty much like Louisiana and East.
Well, it's growing, but yeah, I would love for Marc Broussard to come to Utah.
Or, like we said in our first podcast, we should take a trip out east and see him out east. I'd love to visit out east again. That'd be super fun.
That would be super
I miss
fun.
visiting out there.
Yeah, we kind of had an excuse once upon a time, but...
Yeah, I know.
But I do like the functionality of being able to do... Like, you can do it, the randomizing thing, by clicking on different playlists and stuff.
Yeah.
But... I don't know. I think they both have their benefits, but I think Spotify just gives you a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
Especially given, like, when you have the premium account, you can actually create your own playlist, which is really nice. And like I was saying before, like, I have many playlists now. I got my singles playlist, album playlists for my favorites. And then I have my soundtrack stuff from, like, films, like film scores and such, soundtracks. And then I have another one which I, like, dump all the music in that I would like to listen to, and, like, figure out if I like it or not. My allergies. I forgot to take my nasal spray today. I apologize. I apologize if anybody's ears are bleeding.
No,
we're not liable.
It wasn't that bad.
There are a couple of things I would like to change about it, though. If I was an app developer for Spotify, these are the things I would do a little differently. I would like to have, like, a randomized playlist where you can just be like, you know, throw up a genre or whatever, and then it'll just start playing you random stuff, and you can favorite it, and then it'll play it more often, but always play new stuff.
Or where you can type a song, and it'll create a playlist based off of that song.
Yeah.
And I like
genre, that type of music or whatever.
That's what I love. Yeah. I feel like you get a much wider variety that way with Pandora.
But the only downside is that once you've collected enough songs that you like, it'll just keep playing the songs that you like, and you won't get anything new.
Exactly.
Unless you do the drop down and change it to, like, and even then, like, it doesn't really do a good, I think, justice of really randomizing and really, like, looking deep into stuff.
It's true, because if you have a playlist, like, I know there's one playlist that I listen to all the time and stuff, and I've gone through and I've liked and dislike songs and all that stuff, but then it's just literally the same, like, 30 songs.
Yeah, once you like about, between 30 and 50,
hard.
It's like the same songs over and over again. Yeah, I did notice that. That's definitely a downside with Pandora. So if they could add something like that and make it like a real true, like, you know, like, you can select the different ways to, like, listen to new music, whether it's similar artists, similar genre, or, like, time period. Like, you know, like 80s, 90s, the 2000s, the 10s, you know, like, you can actually really customize it of what you want to listen to, and then you can favorite that kind of stuff. And then, like, every, like, I want to say, like, 6 to 10 songs maybe, throw in something that you've never heard before, like, just to kind of change it up a little bit. I think that would be a really good addition to their application. The other thing I don't like about the song list is that you don't have the ability to really customize the order. So it's not like you can, like, slide it or push and hold it and then, like, drag it up and down. I would love to be able to do that. But the thing I do like about it is if you do add a song and you already have it on there, it'll let you know, are you sure you want to add this song? It'll be a duplicate. That's nice too. That way you don't keep adding Come As You Are by Nirvana 5 different times and realize it's playing over and over again and you don't really understand why.
Yeah.
Another thing would be to make, Like, and honestly, I think it's probably because there's so much data being saved in the background and the cache on the phone that there's just not enough memory, I think, to do it. And I think maybe once cell phones' memories start to expand, it'll probably be more probable for this to occur. But for me, when I play like a shuffle, like a true shuffle, you can either have it a full shuffle, which means it could possibly play the same song like over and over again, like it has that opportunity. Or what I'd really like it to do is like save in the cache in the memory on the phone. So like let's say it plays Foo Fighters, White Limo, and then after that it plays that song, it saves it in its memory banks. It knows, okay, I can play a random song out of all these other songs but White Limo by Foo Fighters. And so it just keeps saving it so it doesn't repeat the songs, but it's still randomizing. I think that would be really cool. That would be a well-welcomed feature, I think, to that application.
Okay.
Or have different modes with randomizing. Like one mode it randomizes where it could possibly play the same song over and over again, or the other way, which it saves which ones that it already played so it doesn't repeat the same ones. That would be super killer.
Yes.
I think those are the things I would really like to improve on the application. Obviously, the connectivity with Bluetooth and stuff like that, something's going on with it. I hope they have an update come out soon that fixes that. Maybe it's already come out and it's already fixed. I don't even know. But I know this week I was really struggling with it. And I wanted to throw my phone out the door while I was driving. Of course, I wouldn't do that.
Phones are expensive.
They are. It was doing the hair thing again. You didn't tell me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot you are on camera.
I am on camera.
See, I don't care because I'm not on camera.
You are my co-host, madam.
You
need to tell me these things.
I am in full Sunday regalia. So and by Sunday I mean comfy pants. Oversized shirt.
Yep.
And a comfy sports bra.
You are so silly. So is there anything else you can think of on the Spotify app that we could change, make it better?
No.
Let's change the world, one app at a time.
True.
Okay, we can.
If we're going one app at a time, let's go for the big ones.
Yeah, right?
No, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to just be quiet.
Have you been listening to albums recently? Any albums that you're like, oh my gosh, I can listen to all these albums from start to finish?
So, yeah, the album by Josh Kelly, where he did his covers. I had never heard that one before, and I played it all the way through. It's pretty cool.
I never heard of Josh Kelly.
You've probably heard one of his popular songs, but
I should seriously write these down. You always come up with good stuff that I need to look into.
I do really like Josh Kelly.
So you got Josh Kelly, you got Shawn Mendes.
Ed Sheeran.
I got tons of Ed Sheeran. I love Ed Sheeran. Train, love Train.
The Script.
Yep, got their hits.
Teddy Swims
got some of his hits. Do you have a list?
Sara Bareilles.
I want you to be brave. And she also, who did she do Jar of Hearts, or is that somebody else?
No, that's somebody else.
Or maybe that is somebody else. I apologize. Please don't tweet at me.
Eric Hutchinson. Hutchinson.
That's what I said. Hutchinson.
Like him. Because if you like to rock, you rock. And if you like to roll, you roll. That's so supposed to punches. It's out of control.
It sounds familiar. I bet I heard it at one point in time in my life.
Okay, it's all right with me.
That sounds familiar.
Easily.
All right. Okay, so tell me one more time. So Shawn Mendes. What was the other guy? Josh Kelly. I'll have to check out their.
Hutchinson.
Yeah, these are people I haven't heard before.
Oh,
Eric.
Matt Wirtz.
Hutchinson.
Matt Wirtz is good too.
Okay, I can't spell or I can't type on it too. Hutchinson.
H-U-T.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
What was the other one?
Matt Wirtz.
Matt Wirtz?
W-E-R-T-Z.
T-Z. You heard it here first, folks. Matt Wirtz.
Do you have Amos Lee?
No. Amos Lee, I do not. So there's a couple people I got to look at. I'll tell you what, you make a list for me, but I wanted to make sure I had at least those.
Mumford and Sons.
I got Mumford and Sons. I got almost 900 singles.
You got Hozier?
No, I don't have Hozier.
Oh, he's good.
Okay,
Hozier.
that's the last one I put on here. Then we're going to go forward.
The Lumineers.
Okay, but what specific album was like really hit you like recently in the last couple of weeks?
Oh, shoot. I don't know. I think I actually revisited Mark Broussard's Karen Crow.
Yeah, we talked about that one the last
that one.
It's so good.
It's good, but
I've listened to it at least 3 times in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, I love it. And the reason is it takes me back to, some of the best times of my life, right?
Yeah.
So, it came out in my early 20s. And
it was like your 20s anthem album. You're just like...
Yeah, it was... Well, not anthem album. I don't know. It was just... It just brings back a lot of memories.
Yeah, and that's what's great about music. And that's what I love listening to music, because it brings you back to when you first listened to it.
And so that's the other thing. I know that there's people out there that love an album because it's just so perfect, musically, blah, blah, blah. For me, I love what music evokes, right? So it's it could be technically crap, I guess. You know what I mean? And
to some people it could be, because it's very subjective to the person that's experiencing
it. If it's
it.
if a technical musician were to listen and be like, that is the dumbest song ever, it's not even that creative. And I could be like, I don't really give a flip, because what I feel when I listen to it, it makes me do this, blah, 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 or it's tied to a certain memory, a sense of smell, But
it depends on the person that's experiencing it. And one thing when it comes to music for me is that it's got to, sonically, it's got to sound good to me. It's got to sound kind of rocky, kind of
Yeah, that's a lot more.
It's got to be that for me to hit me. But I mean, I apologize. Do you want to go ahead and share something before I continue? The Wallflowers. Oh, with one headlight.
Love. That was a good album.
It's the son of
that album. It's Bob Dylan's son.
Yeah, Bob Dylan's son.
Oh, loves that one headlight. What was the name of
that Wallflower album that really hit big? That's actually a pretty solid album. I'm trying to remember the last time I listened to it. It has been a while. I did add the singles, the ones that I really liked. I put it on my playlist, but I haven't listened to the album straight through in a very long time. I think maybe because it's not one of my favorites, but I am trying to expand and really listen. And that's the thing too, is that nowadays we don't really do albums anymore, which is kind of sad. It's just we kind of put a collection of songs on there. Hope you get 1, 2, or 3 hits on it, and if it hits, you go big, kind of a thing. And you have a music video for each of the hits, and and those are the few songs that sell, and then some of the full album, the full record actually gets purchased, but pretty rare nowadays.
Well, and what's sad is so I went to go look up, this is the other thing, Spotify. I went to go look up the Wallflowers, and it won't give me the option for the entire album, just a few songs.
You should be able to...
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, so if you did Wallflowers, so it comes up with the band. If you hit the band and scroll down, it gives you the top hits, or the ones they really want you to see. And then below it, you can go to popular releases, but you can hit the button that says see discography.
Oh, got it.
Discography. You hit that and you can see all of the albums and the singles that they released. So you can actually... But Bring Down the Horse was, that was their big...
Freaking love
96
this album.
album that came out and just that blew up.
I love it.
And if you noticed on Spotify, the top 5 songs, 4 of them are from that album.
Yeah. Well, and it was...
But 6th Avenue Heartache's probably my favorite from them, even though One Headlights like their hit.
Oh my gosh, I love all of these songs.
All of them are really good. 1, 2, 3, Marlena's. That one's really good too. I think I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that album.
Yeah, I'm adding it.
You're actually getting me excited about it.
I'm adding it.
Wallflowers album. I'm gonna go ahead and add this to my playlist. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna add this to my list to listen to. That's my 4th playlist that I have now. So I only have 4 playlists, but that's my experimental one. But I did get an opportunity to listen to a lot of albums this week. The last 2 weeks. It's actually been 2 weeks since I've done this.
Yeah, blame it on your co-host.
It's okay. It's okay. Sometimes, we're just not feeling it, and I don't want you to jump on and be, in a certain mood that doesn't allow you to be creative and fun and exciting.
You should
But I felt like there's a couple of days I didn't feel like that either. So it was like
we
had to kind of line up.
This week was crazy, just ridiculous in so many different ways for so many different reasons. But remember that meme I showed you?
Yeah.
With Beetlejuice. It was so funny.
It's been a hard week. Why does it show? It's a picture of Beetlejuice. Oh, that was such a cute meme. I really like that one.
But that was my week.
Yeah.
Legit.
All right. Well, let's jump into some of the albums I listened to and my kind of thoughts on them, and then we can get into the last half of our show, which is about aliens.
Oh, jeez. You guys,
I've been wanting to talk about this for since we first inception of this, just thinking of it.
Legitimately, he proposed this. He's like, "What if we had a podcast where we could talk about all different sorts of stuff, like aliens?" And I'm like, "Of course he would say aliens." This man loves to watch all these alien shows with that guy with the crazy hair. What's his name?
I don't remember his name, but the series you're probably thinking of is Ancient Aliens.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
I've been listening to that more of a podcast than an actual series. I was listening to it when I was falling asleep, and then I'd think aliens were grabbing me in my bed.
Oh my gosh! And then he'd fell, and guess who wakes up?
You and all the dogs, which then need to jump down and jump back up.
Now that we're back on Alien, now that we're there, why don't we just talk about it?
No, I there's a couple other things I want to talk about.
Can we save that for a different podcast?
No. Oh. It's got to be on this one. It's got to be on episode 2.
Okay.
So, I went through the whole discography of the Foo Fighters. I decided I was just going to sit down. Well, I was driving, but I decided while I was driving to sit down and listen to all the songs all the way through. And I have to say that the majority of the albums, continue to stand up even the test of time.
Well, you are extremely biased, sir, so...
Well, okay. Let me tell you this. So when I was listening to the songs in these albums, everything after the Sonic Highways, I don't like as much. I don't think they were great albums. I think there's a lot of great singles on Concrete and Gold and the brand new one that just came out this year, Medicine at Midnight. There's some really good songs on there, but as far as an album is concerned, you could sit down and listen to it from song 1 to song 15 and just be like, oh wow, this is great sounding. I can listen to this all the time. Or think that while you're listening to it, it's like a live concert that you're having, kind of in your brain, and you're just listening to the songs. But for me, it was just for some reason, there's something about Concrete and Gold that just rubbed me wrong. And I think a lot of it is because they use a different producer, I think, for that one. And so sonically, it really did not sound like the Foo Fighters. And I feel like there was a lot more, experimentation, which, I mean, I like experimentation, but I like very little experimentation when you're this well-known rock band and you're known for doing certain things. And I understand that things get old. Even the songs that I've written, when I was back in high school, I don't always want to play them. Like, you kind of fall out of love with them after a while. Like, so I get, like, you want to do something differently. But if you're going to be that different, like, start a side project and, like, release an EP or something like that. Because I feel like those two albums, like, weren't the Foo Fighters so much. Huh. But, like, everything up till then was just, like, really solid. Well, I mean, the self-titled album, you know, was a little rough. You know, it was just, like, you know, demos that were just kind of, like, you know, tried to be put together. But, you know, still pretty awesome for what he did when he was, like, doing everything by himself. But I really like that.
Okay.
Do you remember Dishwalla?
Yeah.
Counting Cars hit that came out. I think that was off of their second album.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Here's the thing. I listened to all 4 albums that they had, and they weren't that great.
Okay, so now that we're kind of getting back, like, so I pulled up Wallflowers and then a list of bands, like, fans also like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy crap, I forgot. So Counting Crows.
Counting Crows.
Better
Excellent.
Than Ezra.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Better Than Ezra.
I don't even remember their songs.
Oh, here, let me just look it up for you. Because, yeah, Better
Gin
Than...
Blossoms, of course.
Yeah. Like, they had, like, My Miserable Experience was probably their best album, but they've had a lot of great singles. Better Than Ezra... why am I not seeing the songs? What the heck's going on? Anyway, like, I know there's
Spin
like,
Doctors, Toad
like
the Wet
2,
Sprocket. What songs did Toad the Wet Sprocket sing? Walk on the ocean. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, we'll need to like juggle those a little bit more.
Tonic.
Oh.
Sister Hazel.
There's only 2 songs I really liked from Tonic, though.
What ones were they?
It was their hit off of the Sugar album and their self-title. I can look it up for you.
If You Could Only See.
Yep.
If you could only see. Oh yeah, you play that song.
Yeah, I play that song. Like,
yeah.
It's a really great song.
I like the way you sing it better.
I always like to put my own spin on things. You Wanted More from the Sugar album. You wanted more than I could give.
I don't even know
More
that
than
one.
I could answer. Nothing I can give.
I found
I know the words. But yeah, like, there's a lot of good songs. But those were the big ones that... Oh, and I also finished the Tools discography as well.
Oh yeah,
and I only liked
about Tool stuff for a while. Like,
Fear Inoculum, again, it just wasn't Tool for me. Like, not only sonically, it sounded very deep, like, I don't want to say dark. It was too synthetic for me. And that was something I really liked about Tool, is that they used real instruments and could make some really great noises and sounds with them. And not only make good noises and sounds, but be very like what prog rock is, where like the song kind of progresses and like they're like a lot longer and they come to a crescendo and they actually end, and then they have like these big long intros and outros. But I don't know, there's something about songs being longer than 6 minutes that doesn't sit well with me.
Oh yeah, we don't have the attention span for that.
We really don't. And so it was kind of it kind of put me off, because like I really liked Enema in 10,000 Days, and then everything after that I really didn't like Lateralis, and I really didn't like Fear Inoculum. So I don't really know what happened between those albums. Like, I mean, and Lateralis wasn't terrible, but there wasn't really any hits for me that was just like, oh yeah. Like, even the hits that were playing on the radio just didn't really hit me. And Fear Inoculum is kind of like the same thing. It's just like, I feel like the songs got longer and a lot weirder. I feel like they brought along a lot of their influences from Pussifer, which is one of the 3 groups that Maynard, had formed and continues to tour with. So he has Pussifer, Perfect Circle, and Tool. Tool is the first is the first group. I can't get into Pussifer. It's really odd.
I don't think I could just based off of that name.
And the album name is V is for vagina. That's the album name of the first album. I know. It's just I don't know. It sounds.
Yeah, why are you listening to that? That's weird.
Because I like expanding and like seeing if I like things.
Okay, so then here's what you do. You listen to Sunny Day playlist on Spotify.
Sunny Day?
Yeah.
Like the band Sunny Day Real Estate, or is it just a playlist?
It's a playlist.
Oh, okay. It's
awesome.
I was like, you talking about Sunny Day Real Estate?
No, it's got like so much good stuff.
So much good stuff.
Chasing Cars.
Yeah, but yeah, I couldn't get into Dishwalla. Like
Eagle Eye Cherry.
I think they tried too hard to kind of like make each song kind of be weird, but I love his voice. The singer's like, whoa.
Like, whoa.
Like, whoa. I guess we should have segued right into aliens.
Yeah. My brain had moved on.
You're right. We should have just moved on. We came and hit the precipice, and we came to a natural end, and we went backwards. And so I'm sure that's going to like throw everybody off when they listen to this.
I keep telling him he's got to learn to listen to me.
She's just so much smarter than me, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I should have just listened. Okay. So, back in 2014, the New York Times released, or I guess did a column on their website about the government, the Navy videos of the unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs.
Oh yeah, are we talking about that documentary you maybe watched?
Yeah, we can talk about the documentary too. Oh wait, it says it was published in April. Oh, I thought this happened in like 2014.
It did happen in 2014, but they didn't publish it until April.
Oh, it's probably because they finally said, oh yeah, these were actual captures by us. We don't know what they are, and by the way, we have this secret organization that continues to look into unidentified flying objects. I think that was what it was all about, and the Pentagon coming out and saying, yes, these were recorded in 2004, up to early 2015 over the Pacific and off the East Coast, and that Navy confirmed that there was 3 videos that were in wide circulation, that they were actual recordings and they were real, meaning that they weren't like fabricated. What I don't like is that in ufology, if we can call it that, the study of UFOs and phenomena.
You call it?
Ufology? Isn't that what they call it? Ufology?
I don't ever recall ever hearing that word before.
I want to call it ufology.
Well,
it could be.
There
it
you
could
go.
Be.
You can claim it.
Yeah, but anyways, like I saw the videos and I was like, okay, these are very interesting videos. But what it doesn't tell us is what everybody really wants to know is that, are these aliens? What do you think? Have you seen the naval videos?
No.
No, you haven't?
No.
Watch them right now. Just put it up on your phone. Anyways. It's just...
I think I saw them, like... It's just dots flying around.
Yeah, it's just like... I mean, it's probably like on infrared
aliens,
or something like that.
There's aliens out there. Okay? Like, if we all just accept it, it'll be fine.
Well, okay. Well, what do you think is going on? Because there's hundreds, if not thousands, of cases where people are testifying that they have experienced something, whether they saw these flying objects. A lot of them, say they're either like triangles, tic-tac shapes, or the classic flying saucers, just like out there just kind of doing their own thing. So they have thousands of cases of witnesses testifying to these things. They do have quite a few photos and some videos of things that are very out there and very strange. But with that being said, what are your thoughts? Do you believe that there are extraterrestrials visiting us here on this terrestrial sphere from other places in the galaxy?
Oh, definitely.
Really? You think that these things that they're seeing are actual vehicles from another planet?
Sure. Why not?
Well, okay, are you saying that because you actually do believe that, or are you saying that because you just...
So you're asking me if I'm trying to be purposely antagonistic?
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I actually really wanted to ask you about that. That's why I wanted to have this conversation, because there's a lot of things that we may agree or disagree on, but I really want to know what you think about things because I find it fascinating.
I don't know if I care enough to explore, but, like, okay. So, I absolutely believe that there's some crazy stuff that happens there and that they're testing. I don't know.
But you think they're ETs, they're extraterrestrials.
Oh, yeah.
Like vehicles from another planet, not from our own world.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
I think we have a hybrid race here, actually.
Really? Tell me a little bit more about this hybrid race. Are you just doing this just to humor me? Because if you are, you're doing a great job, and I'm seriously getting sucked in. And I'm just like, can you tell me more about this? I want to know what you think.
It's not like but yeah, I think there's a hybrid race for sure.
Okay, what do you mean by a hybrid race? Like
Elon Musk.
So you believe that there's individuals out there that have not only DNA from the human race, or Homo sapien, but also from extraterrestrials from different planets?
Yes.
Interesting. I'd like to know his blood type and see what's going on with his genome.
Who?
Elon Musk.
Oh, shoot. I was joking. But
you were joking? How dare you? You sucked me in.
About Elon Musk, not about the whole...
Okay.
Gosh.
You're joking about Elon Musk. Okay.
You are really desperate for me to, like, be into this,
I want you to be into it a little bit, yeah.
It's so funny.
Well, here's my thought on it. Because, I mean, I haven't dedicated a lot of time into it as far as, like, it being, like, an everlasting burning thing inside of me that I have to learn everything there is to know about the subject. But from the little that I've seen, the interviews that I've seen, the testimonies, the accountings, I mean, they might be credible, like that they did see something, but it's really hard to say because someone says something happens, meaning that that's actually the case. So, okay. I guess for me, I would need to have some more harder evidence.
Why?
Why? Because the way things are, and as far as we understand, like, well, what we understand in this world, I think it'd be really difficult for beings from another planet to reach our world because of the great distance, because of stuff floating around and flying around in the sky that you don't know or can see, like are small as, like, smaller than a BB pebble that can rip through a spaceship and blow everything up. Like, these videos and stuff, they don't really give you a sure understanding of what it is and what it's all about. So I personally don't think, because it's something that our government or a branch of the military or people that actually study this stuff can truly say that is from another planet. Because we just don't know.
I do.
You do. You know for sure.
I watched Independence Day.
You watched Independence Day and Independence Day 2. We got the aliens.
That was bad. Independence Day 2 was bad.
It was pretty bad, huh?
Oh.
Well, I mean, it was a great popcorn film, but it wasn't like something you're just like, whoa, like that just changes my whole outlook on life. Kind of like life-changing experience, like some of these other better films do.
Like what film?
Like what film?
Oh my gosh.
What?
Titanic was like, it came out.
Oh my goodness.
And then I remember when it came out, I was so moved by it. And it was like, I think I saw it 7 times in the theater.
But you can really tell the difference in age as far as like...
Yeah. As far as like what?
The people that play Rose and Jack. Like, there's definitely an age difference in between them both.
Nuh-uh.
You can tell.
No.
The person that played the girl
Kate Winslet.
Kate Winslet looks quite older than the young Leonardo DiCaprio at that time.
No.
She looks much more mature. Like, she looks like she could have been in his early 20s. And Leo DiCaprio looks like he's 12 in that picture. You need to go back and look, because it threw me off.
No, I know what it looks like because I actually drew the scene of her on the bed headboard with holding Jack's hand and them together. And I literally spent hours drawing this to enter into a contest in because I loved Titanic. And then we watched it together because you would never see it. I'm like, you've never seen Titanic? And then we watched it. And then we watched it. And I was like, man, this isn't as good as I thought it was. Like, I don't know. It was so good then. But, like, when you watch it, like, years later, I'm kind of like...
Some films do not hold up.
Maybe it was your, like...
My side banter.
You're in different energy that you were just spewing all over the place that made it go for me.
Well, again, like, I don't think it was terrible. I thought it was filmed pretty well. I mean, I feel like the acting was pretty good. Like, it wasn't like a terrible movie, but it just wasn't very moving.
Okay, no.
But the music was very moving. The music was very moving.
The music was, like, amazing. I love the music for Titanic.
But you can have great, film scores and soundtracks, and you can have a mediocre movie.
Okay.
I.e., Chronicles of Narnia. Mediocre films.
Oh, great.
Beautiful music. Oh, my goodness gracious. I would have almost put... I mean, put it under, but from the music from, like, Lord of the Rings and stuff, I'd put it, like, underneath that, for sure.
The one movie... Two movies that I loved as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Loved. Were The Man from Snowy River and The Return to Snowy River. And I've wanted to watch them, but I don't want to because all of my childhood favorites that I remember as a child, like when I watch them, it just, like, the new experience is blah. And it's maybe because I'm tainted by the world and I have, like, but it just kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd rather have the happy, nostalgic memory.
And some just don't hold up nowadays.
That's not true. I think
Jaws doesn't hold up.
Oh my gosh.
It was so cheesy.
Well, and even rewatching Gremlins
movies too. Oh, Gremlins, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was like, why was I terrified of this as a child? This is so freaking funny. Oh my gosh. Anyway. And this horrible story of Phoebe Case's dad dying in the chimney, and they smell it like 2 weeks later. Oh, it's such a horrible story. And that's why she hates Christmas. I mean, just anyway. But so back to aliens.
So we watched the documentary. We watched the Phenomenon documentary, and it's being held as like one of the most persuasive UFO documentaries. What are your thoughts on it? You saw it with me.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was interesting, the story of the school.
Oh, the last part of it, where they go and they were going over like an interview that they had with all these kids back, what do I want to say, like in the 90s, and then they brought them back. This is, I think, somewhere in like South Africa or something like that, and they had all the kids come back to that school, and they kind of like recounted the things that they experienced. So for those who haven't seen it yet, definitely go see it. It's very interesting.
Or
but
just see
these
it on
kids,
Prime.
Yeah, see it on Prime. You can rent it. So you can actually see these kids, like, they're talking about this experience where they saw this craft land. They saw this little man come out in, like, I think it was like a white suit, and it was like they like spoke to them without words, and they were told that we're not being good stewards of the environment.
Which is true.
I mean, we're definitely having an impact on it. How much is kind of like the question.
It's pretty bad. Okay, the plastics in the ocean, that's an issue.
Well, yeah, and so is our
Like,
emissions. But I mean, like, as far as like the long-term impact, like, we just really don't know. But we do know, like, pollution is bad. Was it Beijing has like the worst air quality, and like when you breathe it, like people like legit like get sick.
well, it's like that
so
up in
bad.
like
it's
so the inversion up in Salt Lake and stuff.
Oh, that's really bad.
It's
too.
actually really bad. It's like one of the worst in the nation, and it's been like breathing in that pollution on a regular basis and stuff.
It's not good.
It's
for
been
you.
known to cause like lots of issues, infertility, respiratory issues, all that sort of stuff.
That's actually very similar to like having like a cockroach infestation.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about?
So, like, if you have a cockroach infestation, a lot of times, I can't think of the species right now, but there's one cockroach that really lives and thrives in a lot of humidity and stuff like that. But sometimes they can infest places like out in like Phoenix and like, you know, depending on the what's going on in like an apartment or a house. But they've found like the fecal matter and stuff like that of like cockroaches and stuff leads to a lot of that stuff, like infertility and like upper respiratory issues, exacerbating asthma, things like that. It's really like,
I had no idea how you got from air pollution to cockroaches. So thank you for making that connection.
Yeah, the connection was they're having like similar stuff that they're having with like, you know, having insect infestations. I don't know how I made that connection, but spoiler alert, I actually, you know, did pest control for 3 years, and I actually got really knowledgeable on that. Because it was interesting time in my life. It just was interesting. You know. But I mean, like all the people that like give their testimonies and everything, and like some of them have been different branches of military, and I think some of the ones that have been the most, maybe not credible, but maybe like the most moving were the ones that are like, oh yeah, like I worked in Area 51. Oh yeah, like I saw the alien bodies and stuff like that. Like they actually like are giving like firsthand accounts of like they actually worked there, you know, in these places. Like those, like, you know, they feel very credible and stuff like that. But I feel like if they were here, like we would just know that they're here.
I don't.
Like, I think we would know.
I don't.
Why?
Because I would think an extraterrestrial species would be smart enough to figure it out. Like, who knows? Maybe we're their pets. And they're constructing this whole thing just for their entertainment. Kind of like we do with hamsters. We build, like, all these little hamster thingies and, like...
So it's like the real life version of The Sims, and the person that's controlling the computer game is aliens. I mean, we don't know. I mean, honestly, it could be that. It could be that they were the ones that progressed, you know, the Homo sapien species from, you know, and that was like the missing link, was that they actually like played with our genetics and gave us big brains like tens of thousands of years later.
There's those things where you can get a tank and you can like put sand and stuff down and you just put water in it, and then all these little shrimp like things start growing. Like, what are they called? Like you can grow your own brine or whatever.
Sea monkeys?
Yeah, like sea monkeys.
Like the very, very small like
yeah,
creatures?
Maybe we're just sea monkeys in some
like in Men in Black.
Like in some
they
alien,
have the galaxies like in a marble.
Yeah, why
there
not?
You go. We're just chilling in a marble. We're just another galaxy just floating in a marble. Who really knows? We really don't know. We're just kind of all, you know, experiencing life all very differently.
This conversation could be considered very blasphemous.
Well, yeah, it could. But yeah, like me personally, there's just not enough physical evidence. There's just not enough, in my opinion. Like really needs to be. I think there needs to be a definitive answer, like yes or no.
Why?
Because I feel like that could progress.
You need the closure?
I could. Well, yeah, it would definitely give me closure. I think it would give a lot of people closure. They're just like, well, this is really interesting, and how fantastic would it be if there was alien life from other galaxies that have been visiting us, and they're trying to communicate with us and let us know, hey, you guys are doing some things that we need to change so that your planet can survive the longevity for you guys to figure out how to go and float off into space and like travel the stars. But the thing is, we just don't know. I feel like if there really had been visitations, that we would have more evidence. You know, it's like having the evidence of there being actually a lot of people from Asia here before the Great Migration from like the UK and Asia down into the Americas.
Dude, like, I feel like you're saying a bunch of stuff that we probably should fact check.
Probably.
Because
that's probably true.
I think you're like diving into stuff, and I'm like, you better have a good. I'm not a good fact checker, so.
I mean,
but like you're saying stuff, I'm like, where did you hear this? Like, where did this even come from?
I'm listening to a lot of podcasts and like watching a lot of documentaries and stuff like that, and so some of it's like brought on from there, but a lot of it's just like me just kind of riffing and thinking of like different things and just sharing like kind of what I think about it. It's not really like, oh, this is the true thing, this is not the true thing. It's just like more like what I think.
Okay.
Just from what I've experienced and what I've seen.
So I'm going to pose some questions to you.
Okay, I might have an answer for you.
Like, you've only been to 2 countries.
This is true.
You've only been on this one continent.
Mm-hmm. For the most part, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so who's to say there's not more evidence out there in the world somewhere? And even on this continent, it's not like you've, like, really explored it a ton. I mean, you've explored Arizona, Utah, and then you've lived in a few other places, but it's not like you explored them.
Coast,
yeah. So I'm just saying, like, you can't say that there's not more evidence out there. There probably is.
There probably is.
And maybe.
And with this documentary, they say that they have, they claim to have physical evidence. They claim that they have these like minerals and like rocks and stuff that they've gathered from these different sites of crop circles or alleged crash landings and stuff like that. And they say that when they've analyzed these different minerals and stuff like that it's evidence of something that's not from here. But the thing is that we've had, who knows, countless like meteorites and stuff and debris that's fallen from the stars that we don't know where it's come from, but they've analyzed it and it's all made up of the same stuff. Atoms, right?
So
what I'm saying is like if there are other life forms out there that don't look or are created to be like us, like they would have a different chemical makeup, right?
Not necessarily.
Well, that's true. I mean, not necessarily. If there are, well, and this is what I think. Like when I always like default back to Contact with Jodie Foster. The line that they use in there multiple times is that, well, if it's just us, it's an awful waste of space.
Yeah.
Which is really, really true. And so, I mean, if we even like
that
say
was
it's
such
like
a good movie.
like a 0.001%, probability of like there being a planet in the Goldilocks zone, which is it's not too hot, not too cold, and it's close or far enough away from the star that life, can be produced. And a lot of that, what we understand life to produce is through, the right elements, oxygen, carbon, and H2O, water. But that's just what we understand. I mean, there could be other life forms out there that are made up of not of carbon life. And they could look very different, but...
Okay. See, I am not educated enough on this topic to be giving legitimate feedback.
Well, we're just playing with it.
Well, see, your hobby is to explore ancient aliens. My hobby is politics a little bit, and then I get all angry, but...
Well, I mean, I think there is some validity as far as, like, people of the past that did carvings and paintings and wrote on, like, papyri and, like, stone and metal tablets and stuff like that, talking about beings coming from different worlds, or the sky people like the Anunnaki from Native American beliefs. I don't know if I said that right. I think maybe the Anunnaki is from, maybe it's Aztecs? I can't remember.
See, I feel like you shouldn't be talking about all this stuff unless you have a good fact checker. And I am not that, sir.
That's the beauty of just being an average Joe, just talking nonsense that you don't understand and postulating questions of what you understand about those things. That's
yeah,
just
but I
what
feel
we're
like you're
doing.
just like going to open yourself up for a bunch of crazy now.
Well, I mean, I guess there could be a lot of negative blowback because, oh, you don't really know this stuff. It's just like, well, I've heard of this stuff, and I'm just not recalling properly. And so if I'm recalling improperly, I apologize ahead of time. But going to the ancient alien theory, which is that aliens have been visiting, our planet for tens of thousands of years, and that these different paintings and tablets and stuff like that and drawings are, and even like drawings in like historic Christianity and like Catholicism, like there's paintings and stuff of like these glowing orbs, which is very strange. Now, with those that are enthusiasts of the ancient alien theory, they go, well, that's proof that aliens have visited. Or maybe there's just this understanding that we've known since we have been human beings, before we were either created or we crawled out of the premortal muck, and started, evolving, or whatever the case may be. And maybe we just have always known that there was something greater than us, and we always have thought it always to be, beings from the stars, which is very interesting. It's very interesting to me. But again, it's not really concrete evidence to say one way or the other. It's just something that says that they've experienced something, or, just like we do today, we have like memes and like, movies and stuff that depict stuff that doesn't exist. And maybe that was their art of that time, their film or their music of that time. They would make these crazy drawings of like alien monsters from the sky and stuff like that. Maybe we've been doing that for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. Or it could be that they were actually visited by something or someone. But we kind of talked about this a little bit a while back, and I posed the question to you. Do you think that we would actually, like, let's say we fast forward a couple of thousand years, do you think that we'll actually discover life like in another dimension? Like, because I think there's like
a fourth dimension.
Yeah, like, because there's like theories that there are like multiple dimensions, and like our existence are like layers upon layers. Like, would we figure? Yeah, like, would we figure that we're going to find life in another dimension that's like within our our realm or our space? Just we can't see them because we don't have that frequency or that understanding or the ocular ability to actually visualize it. Or if we're actually going to figure out how to harness the energy enough to propel us to different galaxies. And I think it's the latter. I think we'll probably find that there's more to life than we understand in this third dimension, and we can actually, with scientific instruments, eventually we'll actually be able to look and peer into those other dimensions and see like other beings and stuff like that. Going back to like, watching and listening and listening to a lot of Joe Rogan stuff, where a lot of the people that he come on, they talk about these different things and their experiences after they've, taken some substances, and they experience something. And a lot of that could be that, because, it does, play havoc with your brain chemistry and your body chemistry to the point where you think you're somewhere else, but you're really just, like having a lucid dream kind of a deal. Or maybe they're actually like peering into another dimension and like experiencing like different entities. Who really knows? Maybe there is a big man living on another planet with a big beard dressed in white who we call God. And eventually we're going to go live there.
Yep.
Who knows? We just don't know. It's just very fascinating to me. But yeah, I can't. There were some videos I did see. I'll have to like find them for you. There is a video that I was like, what the crap is that? Because I don't remember if it was like in like South America, like around like in Mexico or something like that, or Peru, some Latin like place. I'll have to look up the video again, but basically there were these cameras that were looking out in the different like yards and stuff out into the street, and that captured these things. And these things, it looked like a very thick broom, but they had these two long legs, and they like kind of moved like this, like back and forth, like my fingers are going back and forth, but they moved very, very slowly. And it was very strange. And it's supposed to be like some kind of like local legend, like creatures that are living like out in the middle of the desert or something like that. I'm gonna have to go back and find that video again, because there was one time I went down a real long rabbit hole and I found this video and it freaked me out, because I was like, what the crap is that? But like they were like these stick creatures. They were like walking very, very
like
slowly.
Slender Man?
No, it was not humanoid at all. It legit looked like a long, thick broomstick, and then it just kind of like split in two about halfway down the stick. They kind of looked maybe like 4 to 5 feet high, and it just kind of like walked, but it walked very, very slowly.
That's
and
creepy.
You can, and
Are you
yeah,
trying to give me nightmares?
it was very creepy. No, I'm not trying to give you nightmares, because
No,
I don't think these things actually exist, but it was just something I was just like, well, that was different. And again, because of the technology that we have right now, it's very hard to say, oh yeah, that's real or that's not real. You know, because things can easily be faked nowadays. It's not like, well, that's a whole nother conspiracy theory I don't want to go down, but I was watching the series on Netflix, and it talked about all this kind of stuff, and it talked about aliens and ancient aliens and stuff like that. Even the president, like, I think it was Bush at the time, Bush Jr., and he basically said to the public, like, it would be really interesting to see how all of our worries and our cares, like, will melt away if there was like an alien incursion, like if aliens all of a sudden like appeared, like how all of that would just like go right out the window, and we would try to figure out, well, where is our place in the universe? Or maybe you know, maybe they're not benevolent, maybe they're malevolent beings, where they're coming to take our resources because their planet has depleted itself, and they're just going from planet to planet to find resources so they can keep flying. Who knows? Who knows? But honestly, like, a lot of the BS that we're having in today's world would seriously melt away if we had a common enemy, or like a common ally, like that great, with that much technology, that much knowledge of the universe.
Well, Mama Bacchus would say that's just the second coming.
It's because Jesus has come back, and now the aliens are back here to visit us, as we all get resurrected and become immortal beings.
Yes.
Again, who knows? We don't know. Nobody knows. But I find the subject very fascinating. It's definitely not a subject like I can say I'm like an expert on or anything like that. But the things I've experienced and things I've learned, I actually experienced the Phoenix Lights. Like, I actually got to see those.
Really?
Yeah, and I looked up at them, and yeah, they were flying in kind of in a V, and like they're just kind of slowly floating along the mountain line, you know, around the town, out by the White Take Mountains or whatever it was at. And I looked at it and was just like, oh, that's really interesting. And I watched, 15, 20 minutes until like the last like lights kind of went out, and I was like, oh, that's fascinating. It was all over the news, and everybody's like, oh, aliens have visited Phoenix. I'm just like, I don't know. I didn't really get that. And I'm not saying like I'm a spiritualist enough to really like feel that out. But I mean, because I was like really young at the time. But looking at it, I wasn't like, this is aliens. This is extraterrestrials, you know, visiting our planet. And they're just flying by to say hi.
I don't know.
But I feel like if they're that interested in us, like they would have like came out in a very public way. I think they'd be smart enough to do that. I really don't believe that our government has like a secret base where the aliens come there to help them progress our technologies. Although there is some question as to how quickly our technology did advance, after the 60s. And we just went, and just like our technology just blew up, and we were just having all sorts of technological advances. The computer chip getting smaller and smaller and smaller, processors getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Now all of a sudden you have basically a supercomputer, like from like visiting the first rendition, all on your phone. What? So there's something to say about that.
Dude, they're just
am I losing you?
They're real.
I can't say one way or the other. I can only say I don't know. I'm not sure. But but gun to my head, Jacob, you need to believe one way or the other. What do you believe? I would say they're real, but they're not here. They haven't visited us. Like, I'm sure, like, there's natural things going on.
See, now I feel like you need to knock on wood, because I feel like you saying this is just asking for some aliens to come in and do a little probe on you.
I would be very terrified if like an alien came and abducted me. I'll be honest. Well, I mean, I love watching like science fiction and sci-fi movies and stuff like that. And unfortunately, a lot of the sci-fi fiction movies, paint aliens as the hostiles or the malevolent beings from other planets.
Bees.
And it's really sad. That's one of the reasons that I loved.
That was an Independence
Day. That was an Independence Day quote. I like that.
Oh my gosh.
That was good.
Seriously?
That was good. Actually, that makes you pretty hot when you say stuff like that. She remembers stuff like that. It's awesome.
Yeah, be impressed by my nerd.
I am very impressed with you. I am. Yeah, but at this point I can't reasonably say one way or the other. Because there is a lot of testimony, there's a lot of, people saying they saw something. It is a little weird that people that claim they have been abducted can only recall those memories after they have hypnosis, which is kind of like a pseudoscience. But I understand, like, hypnotic suggestion is a real thing.
See, here's the thing. You call things pseudoscience.
It is pseudoscience.
It's not. Based on what expertise?
Again, I don't know.
Hey, Siri.
What are you doing?
Is hypnotism a pseudoscience?
Okay, I found this on the web for Is Hypnotism a Pseudoscience? Check it out.
To me, it's a pseudoscience.
There's an article that says hypnosis, science, pseudoscience, and nonsense.
So it postulates the three possibilities of it being. I mean, again, it's one of those things. I find it very fascinating, but it's kind of hard to believe.
Whatever. Siri, that was no help.
I know, Siri is very unhelpful. But, yeah. It's hard to believe one way or the other. I mean, I'll keep, like, looking up stuff. If, like, something comes out that's interesting, I mean, I'll read it and I'll look at it. But unless there was, like, hard evidence, we got, the scientists looking at everything and able to dictate one way or the other. And we've had all of these government, all these different government and like bodies, like Project Blue Book, the one that they just came out and talked about earlier last year in April that they claim existed, like they're actual stuff that they actually went in and actually looked at all of these different things and talked to these different people. But, and again, I mean, I understand our government's very good at hiding things. I understand that our government's very good at misinformation, maybe not telling the whole truth. So there is that, and that's the thing. But it's hard It's hard to say because there's just so much misinformation about it. There's not any like solid evidence that says one way or the other.
Well, maybe there is. Just because you don't know doesn't mean it's not there.
Yeah, and maybe there is, and maybe I just need to see it.
But until then, you're not going to believe.
Until then, I can't make a decision one way or the other. And I hope that there's something more than us out there. I do believe that there is other life out there, whatever shape or creation it may be, or, evolution or whatever it is that's out there. Yeah, sure. I mean, there's got to be other places like Earth, and the possibility of our poor dog's coughing up stuff. That was very awesome. Great timing. He's like, can you end already? Can we go back upstairs and just relax?
Dude, I am going to say, how long have we been at this?
I think we're actually getting close to having our natural conclusion to end here pretty shortly.
It's been almost 2 hours,
It's
right?
been 1 hour and 41 minutes.
Almost 2 hours.
Okay, pretty close to 2 hours. You're absolutely right.
If you were going to round up, it would be 2 hours.
If you were going to round up, it would be 2 hours. Yeah, absolutely right. It was a good one. I would love to hear more testimonies. I'd love to read more stuff on it.
Well, why don't you dive into some of those conspiracy theories? Like, here's the thing. I think there are a ton of testimonies and evidence out there, but they try and hide it. So you have to dive into all this weird crap. But then you get sucked in and your day's not productive, and then you're just...
And that's the other thing, too. I need to have a good
the time for that.
work life and conspiracy balance in my life.
Yeah, it doesn't bode well to do a ton of conspiracy research.
And especially, when I want to do stuff like this, when I want to do creative stuff. And that's the things I really want to aspire to do. Like, I want to do creative stuff, like have a podcast and talk about nonsense for 2 hours. I want to have...
Yeah, but we got to have some structure to it, or else people will stop listening.
Well, honestly, yeah. Yes and no, but I think we should just talk about what we want to talk about. I mean, I think it's fun to talk about stuff that's happening in the world, like right now.
Now, when you say we, you mean you.
Yeah, I mean me too.
Because...
we do this together.
Well, yeah, but I didn't want to talk about aliens.
I gave you the info. It was your decision if you wanted to update yourself on it.
Dude.
I know.
I wanted that brain space for other stuff.
I agree.
Can you even hear me?
Oh, I can hear you just fine,
okay.
Baby. Just keep talking in the microphone. Keep that right in front of your mouth and you're good. See, this is why we need another condenser mic, because I have this mic, like legit, it's like, I don't know, about 2 feet away, maybe a foot and a half, 2 feet?
Yeah, 2.5.
2.5 feet, maybe with 3.
2.5.
And it sounds like my mouth's like inside of it, which is great.
But then I have a microphone that if I'm not like right there.
Yeah, because it's a dynamic microphone. It's not a condenser mic. That's why I want to get another one, so that you can actually keep it away from your face and we can actually connect with our eyes.
Yeah, because all I see right now is a pop filter. Legit.
Yeah, but for me, like, I need to be creative. And if I'm not being creative and talking about stuff that I think is interesting, then I'm going to get bored. And so it kind of needs to be a happy balance, right? It needs to be balanced to the point where you can talk about things that people find interesting, also talk about things that you are interested in, and kind of have a little bit of know-how with it to make it interesting when we talk about it. And I think there just needs to be a happy medium between it all. But for me, if I'm going to talk about like making sure that like my brain is working properly and I'm feeling good about myself, is I got to do creative things. And that's why I need to stop playing Animal Crossing so much, because
oh my gosh,
I am addicted to that game.
He put in so many hours this weekend.
Oh my goodness. I legit like brought all of my hills and mountain or my upper level pieces all the way down to sea level, and that took way too long. But my island's like looking really, really baller right now. But I want to do stuff like this. I want to finish my fictional book. My fictional book that I'm writing. I want to finish that. I want to do a script on our love life. It would make a great romantic comedy.
That was my idea.
That's a great idea. I think we should do it. I want to do a Doctor Who trilogy where I do a film a script on Doctor Who. I think it'd be fun.
I almost thought you said Dr. Seuss for a second. I was like, no, don't bring that up.
We don't need to bring that up.
We already talked about cancel culture and how ridiculous it is.
It is. It's ridiculous. And it's sad, too. It's like, there needs to be some regulation on that, but we can talk about that another day. But yeah, I absolutely love doing this whole podcast thing, and I'm really excited to do more of yours and talk more about that. So I'm hoping soon that we can go back through and do yours, and we can get that out. But that seems like a pretty good place to stop. It's an hour and 45 minutes. I think that feels pretty good.
Sure.
Yeah, sounds great. So thank you all for enjoying another episode of The Periodic Review. My name is Jacob.
Oh, and I'm Rianne.
And we hope to see you again in the next one. Y'all have a wonderful evening and good night.